It's been the tale of the paint. I mean, UMass is leading that 8 points to 4. But they're able to get some point-blank shots and convert on, but also turnovers. Duquesne was 7. UMass was 6.
Well, and you see the second chance points, that's all part of the points in the paint and the success that UMass has had. Coulter has turned the ball over a couple of times for Duquesne. In fact, he has 3 turnovers so far.
Right now, Derek Kellogg giving Chaz Williams a little bit of a break, but Davis and Riley running the show for the Minutemen.
Here's Marhold against Riley. Little size advantage over the top with a pretty little baby hook shot.
Yeah, I love that about Coulter. He found the mismatch, and the mismatch was Marhold on Freddie Riley. And Marhold got it squared and scored. That's something he has not been consistently doing. And in order for this Duquesne team to advance and get to Brooklyn, he's going to have to score down low.
Andre Marhold called for the personal foul. That's his first foul. Team 6th. Well, the lane is such a load down under the basket as Chaz Williams checks back in. Davis out.
I was really impressed with how he handled Corey Remican and also Rob Lowe from St. Louis.
Caddy Lane, you mean? Oh, yeah, I agree.
Caddy Lane was a man. And that game, they just didn't have enough to put it over the top, but that's a great 8-10 game.
Freddie Riley with the 3-pointer makes this a 5-point game, 24-19. It's the largest lead for UMass in this first half.
And I think that you got to go back inside so you can get that open jump shot. You know, you get the ball inside, it shrinks that defense. Little inside-out passing can get you a wide open jump shot.
Well, Johnson was thinking something else on that particular play. He just threw it up thinking he was going to turn it over. Vinson foul going up, and the ball rolls in and out of the cylinder. But he'll get a couple free throws.
Nothing good happens for the defense when Chaz Williams gets in the lane. You know, right now it's trying to catch a cat. I mean, he's in there in the lane quick, and people just run, and he figures out what he's going to do with the ball. Problem is, as soon as he figures it out, he throws it. It's tough to recover.
Vinson misses the first free throw. As you mentioned, Chaz Williams is from Bishop Ford High School in Brooklyn. As Dot checks back into the ball game, so does Jeremiah Jones. Johnson is out. Marhold is out. Chaz Williams from Bishop Ford High School in Brooklyn. Jim Ferry, obviously from LIU in Brooklyn. Knew him very well. Of course, he went to Hofstra and then transferred here to UMass, and he thought this was a great fit for UMass and for Chaz Williams when he was transferring.
Well, they actually called him
and asked his advice. Yeah.
So what do you think?
Jones fouled going up, Jeremiah Jones, and we'll see who it's against.
And that was a smart play by Lane, because what you want to do is you make it hard. We talked about bodying the cutter. You want to make sure that you protect that lane. And he went up strong and made sure that, hey, next time you come in the lane, Jeremiah, you're going to get hit. And sometimes that an offensive foul or a strong foul like that will keep guys from penetrating that inside.
Jones misses the first free throw. It remains a 6-point game. Well, this has been a struggle for Duquesne, who mentioned they're on a 4-game losing streak. They've allowed over 80 points per game during that stretch, and rebounding margin is a big deal. Minus 14.5, which is basically, it's close to what they were last year under Ron Everhart, and that is unacceptable for Jim Ferry. One of his goals is to win the rebounding battle. How important is that, to win the rebounding battle?
Well, I think it really is important for a team like this, especially a young team. I think it shows your aggressiveness, but the problem is they're undersized. They are undersized. They have to be fundamental. They have to box out. If you don't box out, especially against teams like UMass, you will lose that rebounding war.
Well, the lane of the free throw line. Front end of the 1-1, no good, and the board by Dot.
And now you see Duquesne taking the air out of the ball a little bit, trying to run some set offense. They have to get something going in this half court.
Here's Coulter from the free throw line, and he was freed up by a nice screen up top. Then they go a little zone here. It's kind of a matchup zone almost.
Well, you can watch them pushing guys. They're going to try to make sure that Jones can get his hand out on the shooter. Same with Coulter. But you got to recover quickly.
That's one way to try to beat the zone, is to shoot over top of it. Here's Pontefract. Boy, he looked like he may have traveled on that one. Shot no good. Jeremiah Jones loses it out of bounds. Actually, they're going to say that Caddy Lane touched it last. So a fresh 35 off the missed 3. 5 on the floor include Coulter, Jeremiah Jones, Mamadou Dot, Pontefract, excuse me, and Jerry Jones. Coulter covered by the lane. A little step back jump shot. And it's no good. And Esho with the rebound loses it to Chaz Williams. How about Freddie Riley? If he feels it, then you've got to defend him right up into his chest, and he certainly was feeling it there. He's made 2 threes in this first half.
Tom, he's a rhythm shooter, and he didn't even look. He knew exactly where he was going as soon as he got the pass. No dribble, spot up, and that's a rhythm shooter. And that's real important because, as we've talked about, Jesse Morgan, their leading three-point threat, sitting on the bench.
There's Jesse Morgan right there. Well, Freddie Riley, Derek Kellogg said, I'm gaining confidence in him every single game, and I was even before Jesse Morgan's injury.
Well, we're going to talk about his offense, but he's also grown on the defensive end. I think you do that as you get older, but he is a rhythm shooter, and what I mean by that, as soon as he gets it, he knows he's going to shoot that ball. There was no question, and it was smooth. He was confident. The more he shoots, and the better he gets, the more confidence he's getting, and that is so important, especially when they have the big guys like Esho and Lane down low. It's a nice compliment.
Winters into the ball game. He's on the floor with Coulter and Jeremiah Jones, Dot and Jerry Jones. Jeremiah is 23. Jerry is number 5. They are not related. And it's 28-21. UMass on top by 7.
Well, at this point in the game, with 5 minutes to go in the half and a 7-point lead, you want to make sure, if you're Duquesne, you don't want to be taken out of this game. You have to make sure you're keeping it close.
That wasn't the best of shots there. Here's Williams trying to capitalize on that missed shot. Lalane going up, and he's going to visit the free throw line again. Caddy Lalane was fouled going up.
The biggest problem Duquesne has right now is not boxing out. You have to box out Esho in the lane, and that time right there, neither one of those guys was boxed out.
As a team, UMass is 8th in the Atlantic 10 in free throw shooting. 29-21 after the made free throw. Well, you see the Minutemen the first 6 games this year. They scored 69.2 on average. The last 9, though, they were averaging nearly 75 points per game. Let's talk to Derek Kellogg today. And, you know, their margin of victory on average is about 5 points per game. And he said nothing is easy. And even now as the league begins, it gets even tougher.
Well, there was one point in time 2 games ago where the opponents were scoring more points, cumulative points. It was amazing. They were, what, 11-3, and they still were having being outscored by the opposition.
30-21, the largest lead of the night for the Minutemen. They head toward the 4-minute mark here in the first half. Here's Winters launching a 3, no good. So several missed shots in a row, and now this is where you have to be careful with UMass. The feed to Esho for 3, short, and Johnson is fouled by Chaz Williams.
And the problem is right now for Duquesne is they're getting nothing moving to the basket. Everything's perimeter. Even the shot Coulter made was a nice little jumper in the lane, but you got to look inside the dot, and you have to either get it on penetration or the pass. Got to get Johnson more involved. Jeremiah Johnson on the low block, let him get the ball and take it to the basket. He's quicker on the perimeter than Vinson.
Here's Sean Johnson toward the basket, cupped it for a moment, banks it home. 30-23 the score, and the answer by Lalane.
Duquesne is not doing a very good job on the defensive end in transition or rebounding, and now UMass.
Oh my! Maxi Esho, hello! It's a 13-4 run And here I thought he overran the basket.
I thought he was going to get it and throw it back.
The run is a little more than 4 minutes. Johnson, a bounce pass to Dot. Blocked from behind by Riley, and they're going to call a jump ball.
Well, I tell you, when UMass plays good defense, it really helps their offense. That's a great play by Esho.
All right, well, folks, this is probably the play of the night. I don't think anything can top it. Maxi Esho with a beautiful sprint to the basket. Did he overrun it? It doesn't matter. UMass with the lead by 11.
You do a lot of thinking on a bike. About your life, family, your dreams. One of my dreams came to me on a bike, to open up my own shop. So what happens when you complete a dream? Well, you just start thinking of the next.
Whether it's mom's smartphone, dad's tablet, Lauren's smartphone, or Kevin's smartphone, AT&T makes it affordable for the whole family to share data on all their devices. With AT&T Mobile Share, you can add a tablet for $10 a month. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Pizza Hut's $10 any pizza deal is back.
Any pizza, topping, sizes.
$10. The Meat Lover's Pizza.
$10. Delivery, dine in, or carry.
Out of this world pizza.
Pizza Hut's $10 any pizza deal is back.
Now that's how you make it great.
Well, UMass is using a run over the last 4.5 minutes to extend their lead to double digits, 34-23. Obviously, anytime you lose a player, it's difficult to overcome that. Jesse Morgan, you and I were last week in St. Louis when he tore his ACL. He's averaging 13.5 points per game, and he's out for this year. He'll come back next year for his final season. So they're missing Morgan, but they're also missing Javon Farrell, who's on the bench for the UMass Minutemen. Those are two big losses. You and I commented last week about Morgan, the junior from Philadelphia. There's Javon Farrell. How great physically he looked going into that St. Louis game.
He is very strong, and I think when you lose a guy that, like we talked about, one of your leading scorers, but also shooting the ball so well. He's shooting like 80% from the free throw line. Gave you 3 assists, a couple rebounds, or 2 assists, a couple rebounds. It's very important to try to fill that rotation. You know at the beginning of the year, the Farrell was not going to be there.
Right.
That's a little bit easier to take. Now you've got to change what you've been doing for the first 13 games and readjust.
Well, Duquesne has the ball, down by 11. Johnson with the drive, and he's made the last 2 baskets for the Dukes.
And out of the timeout, you can see that's what Coach Ferry was saying. Let's stop it with the jump shots. If we're going to get something in transition, that's fine. But we have to get something going to the basket. We're not being aggressive enough.
Johnson is over 1,100 points during his career. Vinson on the drive past Johnson, and a nice screen because he was able to just lay it right in.
You are exactly right. That was a beautiful screen on the low block. Too easy for UMass. Duquesne is not doing a good job inside.
And again, Johnson forces his way to the basket and lays it off the glass.
We talked about Johnson taking over. He's doing a very good job of being aggressive.
36-27, Williams, little jump back, 3-pointer, and it's good. Well, he is just lightning quick, and he got Coulter back on his heels.
Coach Ferry is questioning whether or not it was a 2 or a 3.
I thought his foot might have been on the line, too. Here's Winters with the drive, and the weak side rebound by Vinson.
They're
now,
check it.
Yeah, John Cal is going to walk over to the scorer's table to take a look with John Gaffney and Mike Stevens.
Chaz Williams is so quick, it was very hard for me to tell. See right here.
Oh, no, he was beyond the arc. Yep.
That was a frame too soon because his foot was over that line, but he brought it back.
I'm with you on that. That's what I saw, too. So they'll look at that, and they'll decide that it is a 3-pointer. with 1:58 to play. This is a very good officiating crew, veteran guys. John Gaffney is to the left. Here we go again.
It was interesting talking to Coach Ferry about Chaz Williams and trying to figure out a guy this small, why he's so good. And he said he's just confident. He believes that he can do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't realize he's that small. And I have to agree with him. He plays like he's a 6'4" superstar. He is a leader of this team.
Three-point shooting, 6 for 13 UMass, and they have a 39-27 lead. Chaz Williams began his career at Hofstra, and when Tom Pecora left for Fordham, he decided to transfer to UMass. He and Halil Kanasevic, who plays for St. Joseph's, both transferred from Hofstra after Pecora left. Here's Chaz Williams. There he goes again. He just couldn't finish on that one. Jerry Jones with the rebound.
Duquesne was fortunate because that's exactly what you don't want to have happen. It's Chaz Williams. It's another steal.
Escho with the save, and UMass will settle into a little offense. It's known as Chaz Williams. Well, we've done a number of UMass games the last couple of years where he's basically taken over the game as a point guard. Well, tonight, he's not only taking it over as a point guard, but he's also taking it over as a scorer. He has been red hot these last few minutes.
Well, you'll see he gives the ball up. It's a little bit long for Freddie Riley. Good hustle by Escho to save it to Vinson. Vinson, nice swing pass. Nobody comes out and covers up. I mean, you have to extend, especially in transition. Quentin Winters, no extension. You have to get out and get a hand on that because that is the best UMass offense. Their break and their secondary break is as good as any.
Oh, it was set up by his steal. Now the three-point field goals. This is a torrid pace right now for the Minutemen. They're right at their average basically for a full game. You know the thing about Chaz Williams, and I think Mateen Cleaves, who you'll see at halftime on AT&T at the half, and even Ala Abdunabi, they know this. Every night he's defended by the best player on the other team. Here he comes again. And that's hard to do on a nightly basis.
Sometimes I think it's hard to be that defender. I would not want to be that defender.
I would agree with you on that. Here's Johnson on the outlet and just too long a pass from Jeremiah Jones.
The defense for UMass has been the catalyst for this run. I mean, their defense is swarming. They're very athletic. They're a lot bigger. There's been probably 10 tip passes in the last 5-7 minutes. And you see the 12 turnovers is an indication of not taking care of the basketball. And great defense by UMass.
Escho and off the front of the rim. You get another open look. Winding down here in the first half. UMass has a comfortable lead. UMass has 13 points off turnovers.
That play right there was a great drive by Johnson. Instead of taking it to the basket, sort of went away from the basket.
Kind of faded away.
They have to be more aggressive if they're going to keep up with UMass in this game in the second half.
See the difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And Williams is running it down as far as he can before he gets this offense rolling. Working against Coulter, just dribbling out front. Shot clock under 5. Crossover move, right side of the lane, heads to the basket, and no continuation. They'll call the foul on the floor with 5.3 to play.
Jim Cruz last week said something I thought was really telling. I love listening to these coaches. He said that Chaz Williams sometimes is so low to the ground that his offhand is touching the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. And that time he made 2 moves, had a nice crossover around the pick, and he got straight to the basket.
Jim Cruz, the head coach of the St. Louis Billikens, the interim coach, as Williams goes to the line. And he has reached double digits. Johnson has 11 for Duquesne. He leads all scorers. Williams has 10 for UMass as Davis checks in, the freshman. Vinson checks out. Now 11 points for Chaz Williams. 44-27 with 5.3 to play. And Williams will take a breather for the rest of the half. And Well, he deserves it. 5.3 on the clock. Timeout called by UMass. One of the aspects about Chaz Williams is his personality, too. You know, last year when he started playing for UMass, Derek Kellogg talked about how he has changed the significance of UMass basketball just by, you know, by his mere presence, walking around campus. People are talking to him about the games, and I think that says a lot.
He's always got a smile on his face. I mean, he's one of those guys that is effervescent. You know, nothing really gets him down. He's a leader. You know, looking at his timeout, this is a pretty important play. I know there's 5 seconds left in the half, but you know, if Duquesne can get a 3 ball
with him on the bench.
Yes, with him on the bench. You know, because they get the ball up court. They got to get the ball up court first. They've had problems with that. Get a 3 ball and cut it to 14. It's going to be really important because it's going to keep them within striking distance.
Here's Coulter. He'll let it fly. Good! As time expires, Derek Coulter just lets a floater go from beyond the arc.
That's a momentum thing that Duquesne needed. I think it's a real shot in the arm for him. Yes, they're down by 14, but it's not 17.
44-30. Derek Kellogg thought there was a traveling violation as the shot left the hands of Derek Coulter. A little ray of sunshine for the Duquesne Dukes in what has been a half dominated by the UMass Minutemen. Coulter lets it fly. 14-point lead coming up. AT&T at the half on CBS Sports Network.
Tonight, Archer's back with a bang.
Boom!
The stakes are higher.
Who drinks a pint of grappa?
You're hallucinating.
The targets are looser.
We are Code Zulu! You better not be making pornos!
And the mission is deadlier.
Just like 4th of July.
Yeah, if you slid a pig under him.
Archer premieres tonight at 10, only on FX.
Beating the high cost of auto insurance is a slam dunk with the General. Just log on to thegeneral.com or call us for a super fast quote. All it takes is a couple of minutes. Right now, you can get insured and stay insured for as little as $39 a month. You'll also get instant online proof of insurance.
Show off. For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
Did you or a loved one suffer a blood clot or stroke while taking the birth control drug Yaz, Yasmin, or Acela? According to the FDA, some scientific studies show Yaz has a 3-fold increase in the risk of blood clots. Birth control hormones can cause clots in the legs, lungs, and other areas of the body. Some blood clots can be fatal. You may have a legal claim.
Call toll-free 1-800-443-2513. For a free consultation, call 1-800-443-2513.
The CBS Sports Network presents AT&T at the Half. Rethink possible.
All right, we are at the half in Amherst. Welcome everyone to our New York studios. Adam Zucker here alongside Martine Cleaves, Ala Abdel Nabi, and from CBSSports.com, Gary Parrish with us for a couple nights here. We're not letting him go. UMass, though, up by 14. Really an extended run to open this thing up against Duquesne.
No question about it. A strong run as well. We wondered at the beginning of the game who was going to step in for Jesse Morgan. Well, it turned out to be Freddie Riley. 3 3-pointers made. He's got 9 points, but also Trey Davis stepped in, did a good job. But what I liked is the up-tempo is still there. Right now they're in the 40s. That's a good sign for UMass.
Right, and if you're Duquesne, you want to try to control the place, guys. You cannot turn the ball over 12 times on the road. You just can't do it. It's going to hurt you at the end of the game on the run. But you got to do a better job of taking care of the ball, because when you turn it over, now you're getting the ball in Chaz Williams' hand, who's one of the fastest guards from one end to the other in college basketball. So you got to take care of the basketball.
And he's got 4 assists so far tonight, so he's taking care of his teammates. All right, let's check on the other big games tonight. In the Big Ten, Michigan, a missed shot away from being the #1 team in the country and undefeated. Trying to avoid, though, dropping 2 in a row in a visit to Minnesota, Gary, and Tim Hardaway Jr. keying a 10-0 run early on for Michigan.
You know, he was 5 of 15 over the weekend at Ohio State. Tonight, first half, 6 of 7 from the field, already 17 points. That's better.
Yeah, we're seeing him drain his 3rd 3 of the night. Trey Burke in Michigan, that was their 5th 3-pointer of the half as Burke gets one to go. The Wolverines there 24-16, but a la Minnesota answering with the 3-ball as well.
What they do here is they, in transition, look for one another. Hey, I'm wide open. Defense is slacking off in the lane. How?
Hit their first 5 shots from behind the arc as well. Burke feeding Hardaway Jr. for the alley-oop. 17 in the first half for Hardaway and a 6-point lead. All right, guys, your thoughts on what we've seen in the first half so far in Minnesota?
You know what? If you're Michigan, I know it was disappointing over the weekend to take that loss, particularly when #1 ranking on Monday was at stake. But still, you talk to John Beilein, I bet he'll tell you if he could have split at Ohio State and Minnesota, he'd probably take it. He's 1 half away from doing that.
He might take it.
Yes, he is. And listen, Michigan is at their best when Hardaway's playing well, when Trey Burke is playing well. They both are making shots. Hardaway 17 points, Trey Burke 10 points. He missed his first few shots. He changed his jersey to number 12.
Yeah, jersey got torn.
And he made his next few shots, so he might want to keep that jersey on. But when they both are playing well, Michigan is a tough team to beat.
Yeah, we'll might have to adjust our rosters. All right, in the SEC, surging Texas A&M and Elston Turner. He scored 40 at Rupp Arena, trying to knock off 10th-ranked Florida. Guess who's there? Johnny Football. Hey, he's on his phone. Aggies in control early. Fabian Harris getting the roll. And a 4-point lead, but back came the Gators. Mike Rosario, he's back finding Kenny Boynton.
They're really good in transition. Good play, Rosario head up. Kenny Boynton, nice finish.
And Rosario going to knock one down as well. Florida in front at that point, 13-9. A&M hanging around. Courtney Roberson grabbing a board here and gets the putback, and the Aggies with a 1-point lead. But from there, guys, an 18-2 run by the Gators. Here's Eric Murphy.
His ribs look okay. Another putback there, and Florida's going to take a big halftime lead.
Yeah, and they're great on the defensive end of the floor. You see him swinging the ball around right to the corner. Murphy able to knock it down.
35-18, and Elston Turner so far really not a factor, just 2 points at halftime.
Struggling, but again, it's about the Florida defense. And Gary, I don't know how they do it, where they've got so many different injuries. Mike Rosario first came back, 14 points, 3 assists. But it's the defensive end of the floor where they're really dominant. Right now, Texas A&M only shooting 33%.
Here's the thing we need to start talking about. With Texas A&M going into Rupp Arena and winning, and now Florida working them down at Texas A&M, who's going to mess around with Florida in this league? I mean, the SEC's down. We all know that. Missouri's good. Ole Miss better than we thought. But don't be surprised if you see Florida favored in every single SEC game they play going forward.
Yeah, just like about 10 years ago almost, right, for Billy Donovan and company. At least it feels that way. When we come back on AT&T at the half, we'll preview the second game of our doubleheader. St. Joseph's at newly ranked VCU. Hawks with a preseason pick to win the A-10, but is VCU now the favorite?
75 years of NCAA March Madness presented by Allstate. 1958 saw a Kentucky team devoid of star power peak at the right time to take home a national title. In the championship game, they took on Seattle and had to fight back from an early 11-point deficit. Kentucky's Vernon Hatton and Johnny Cox combined for 54 points to give the Wildcats their 4th overall title. Go to ncaa.com/March Madness and vote for the all-time March Madness players, teams, and moments.
So, if you have a flat tyre, dead battery, need a tow or lock your keys in the car, Geico's Emergency Roadside Assistance is there 24/7. Oh dear, I've got a flat tyre. Yeah, can you find a take where it's a bit more dramatic on that last line, yeah? Yeah, I got it right here. Someone help me! I have a flat tire!
Well, it's good for me. What do you think?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
On our 150th anniversary, we could run an ad showing our campus back then. But at UMass Amherst, we'd rather show you everything that's happening here right now. Hey, you don't get to be one of the best public universities in the country by living in the past. UMass Amherst, always moving forward.
Get ready for a 4-day weekend of college hoops action. The 2013 Buick Atlantic 10 Men's Basketball Championships is heading to Barclays Center. Don't miss the excitement from March 14th through the 17th. Get the best seats and the best deals now. Single session tickets start at just $25, or purchase all session tickets starting at $125 to see all 12 games. Atlantic 10 tickets now on sale at the American Express box office at Barclays Center or Ticketmaster.com.
At the half in Amherst, where UMass has a 14-point lead, thanks in part to Maxie Escher. Look at him throwing it down off the turnover. Minutemen up by double digits. And just a reminder, coming up at 9 Eastern, the Atlantic 10 preseason favorite St. Joseph's against VCU, one of the hottest teams in the nation. Rams are back in the AP poll for the first time since the mid-'80s, unbelievably, and seeking their 12th straight, yes, win. All right, guys, who are you watching in this next matchup that we have coming up at 9? Mateen?
Well, VCU. You know, I'm going to go with VCU. And Travion Graham is a big-time player. And I tell you what, Shaka Smart says this man has the potential to be the all-time leading scorer once he leaves VCU. The thing I like about him, it's nothing pretty about his game. Now, it's no flash and dash, but he gets right to the point. He finds ways to get buckets. He's a good offensive rebounder. He knows how to get in the lane. He can go off the dribble, hit knockdown shots. What a big-time scorer this kid is.
For me, it's Troy Daniels. He's got to keep stroking the basketball. Shaka Smart said he's the best shooter he's ever coached, even when Shaka was an assistant coach in Florida. That's saying something. He's got to be able to knock down shots and stay aggressive if he misses his first few.
And with Troy Daniels, keep this in mind. This is a kid who shoots 9 times from behind the arc per game.
Makes 4 of them.
And makes 4 of them. He's tremendous shooter, not only for the A-10, but the entire country.
All right, so what's wrong with St. Joe's then if they were the preseason favorite and all the talk really is turning toward VCU, if not Butler, when it comes to the A-10, if St. Joe's was the preseason favorite?
Well, I think part of it was when you're new to something, you don't know how you're going to perform to. So I don't think they gave them the benefit of the doubt. I think the teams like St. Joe's and Temple have been through it before. They got the nod, but no one anticipated them, especially in the preseason, them playing this well. But I've got both of these two new teams, VCU and Butler, winning this thing, or not at least being 1 and 2.
Yeah, honestly, I think the coaches got it wrong. I don't think St. Joe's should have been the pick. It should have been from the start Butler, VCU, but people wondered whether these new programs would be able to adjust from the Horizon, the Colonial, into the A-10, where you have to compete day in and day out against a superior athlete. So far, no problem at all.
Yeah. I mean, the way they make you play, everyone else has to adjust to them.
Oh, they do. They do. VCU, they guard you. Butler guards you. So if you don't like change, you might not like this statement. But guess what? It's a new tag team in town in the A-10, and it's called Butler and VCU. So watch out. Both really good teams.
Yeah, I'm sure all the coaches, all the administrators around the A-10 were very excited that these two teams came to the conference. They're just not excited when they have to play them.
Now, not so much.
Yeah, then they don't want to deal with it. All right, Gary, Ala, Mateen, and I will see you later. The second half on the way from UMass.
This has been AT&T at the half. AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. Rethink possible.
I was turned in Djibouti, Africa, 2004.
The Battle of Bataan, 1942.
Fort Benning, Georgia in 1999.
USAA auto insurance is often handed down from generation to generation because it offers a superior level of protection and because USAA's commitment to serve the military, veterans, and their families is without equal. Begin your legacy. Get an auto insurance quote. USAA. We know what it means to serve.
Maybe, like a lot of people across America, you've been hit by credit card bills, a divorce, or you lost your job. Now the feeling of debt is overwhelming, but we believe everyone deserves a second chance. We're the providers of Care One Debt Relief Services, created by Bernie Dansell on this very idea of second chances after he overcame his own battle with debt. Call our certified personal finance counselors for your free customized plan and start to see your savings in minutes. It's not a loan. It's not bankruptcy. It's debt consolidation with a payment you can afford. We've helped over 5 million people, and as the nation's largest brand of debt relief, we stand by our service with a 6-month money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to you. Care One helps good people get a second chance. So call us right now for your free customized plan at 1-855-66-HELPS or visit careonehelps.com. Care One, we're in the business of second chances.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson. The Government Accountability Office has released an important report regarding abuse and neglect in nursing homes. It states that 70% of state nursing homes underreported serious care problems. Broken bones, dehydration, and malnutrition may be signs of nursing home abuse or neglect. If you believe that a loved one has been a victim of nursing home abuse or neglect,
call 1-800-607-0098. That's 1-800-607-0098.
Well, if they're planting the seed for the younger fans, this is a pretty good game to watch. UMass on top 44-30. They've matched their season high in points and a half with those 44. The fans settling in, so are we, along with Steve Wolf. I'm Tom McCarthy. We're getting set for the second half. All right, so if you're UMass, you're feeling pretty good about what you've been able to do in transition in the first half.
They've done a really nice job playing good defense, extending and turning over Duquesne, and that's how they're getting their offense.
Turnovers have been a huge factor in this ball game. Now, Duquesne did get a bucket at the end of the first half, which was huge. Now, Derek Kellogg said, hey, we were trying to foul. Look at Trey Davis here. He pushed Eric Coulter before he let it go, but that was a big shot. It sort of stemmed the tide a little bit.
I think it's a big shot for a number of reasons, is because Coulter got off the schneid then, too. He's only 2 for 6 in the first half, but if you look at the keys to the game, Duquesne has not done a nice job protecting the lane. UMass getting in there too often, and they're not staying under control, and you look at the points in the paint, that's all UMass. And then they're turning over Duquesne and getting easy buckets.
All right, this is one of the reasons why the Minutemen have been successful. Why don't you circle that second number right there? 7 for 16
there you
from
go,
beyond
baby.
the arc. That is huge for the Minutemen. They've already reached their season average for threes made in a game.
And you add that along with the 13 points off turnovers.
Right.
Those are 2 big categories, and for Duquesne to only be down 14, I think that's a blessing for Jim Ferry.
All right, so UMass will get the ball to begin the second half. We are just about ready to go. John Kell is going to give it to Samson Carter. There's Chaz Williams. He had himself a very comfortable first half. 11 points, 4 assists, and he will start with the ball, as you would suspect, for the Minutemen. All right, now for Duquesne, how do you slow down Chaz Williams and Freddie Riley in the three-point shooting in the second half?
But you might have to play a little bit of zone and extend, but you have to make sure that the reason why those jump shots are open is because the second chance attempts by UMass. Duquesne is not playing fundamental defense and not boxing out.
Chaz Williams, there you see his numbers from the first half. We forgot about throwing in those steals. 3 steals to go along with the 3 rebounds.
UMass has 8 steals in the first half, and some of that is great defense, but also some of it is losing the composure. Duquesne throwing the ball over top, and just can't do it, and the guys are bigger.
Sean Johnson, by the way, just picked up that foul as Derek Kellogg watches Raphael Putney miss that first free throw. Here's his second one. Putney in the first half had just 2 points, misses the second free throw, and Marhold with the rebound.
Putney really struggling. He's a 77% free throw shooter. He has not seen the rim yet. Not shooting the ball well at all.
14-point lead for UMass. Here's Coulter, and his pass is deflected away from Williams. Williams with his 4th steal of the night, and that ball is dropped out of bounds by Freddie Riley. Well, we talk about the quickness of Chaz Williams. It's not only with his feet, but it's also with his hands. His hands are so fast.
And if you can't throw it over Chaz Williams, yes, you got to make him move. He's very quick, but he's 5'7".
Yeah.
You can't turn that ball over.
See, 9 steals now for UMass, counting that last one by Chaz Williams.
I think you have to look at Pettiflat and you also Marvel get down low. See if you can get something at the basket. whether it's dribble penetration. Right now, Johnson's the only one he's even looking to get in the lane. He's the leading scorer with 13.
Yeah, 13 points for Johnson, 1,125 for his career. Carter gives up his dribble in the paint. 12-point game. UMass up by a dozen. They haven't scored in the second half. Vinson trying to answer that. Nope. And Ponteflet with the rebound.
Very fortunate there because UMass had the hand on the ball. But it got another offensive rebound.
Coulter fakes the three into the paint. Nice move and a pretty layup.
That was a typical Olay by Putney.
He had a chance to take that three, though, and he saw the open lane and decided, you know what, I'm going to dribble in. If I don't get the shot, I'll pass it out.
Well, don't look now, but it's a 12-point game, but it was down to 10, which is really a momentum builder for this Duquesne team coming out on a 4-0 run.
So it's back to a dozen, the Minutemen lead. 2 minutes into the second half. Don't forget, coming up after this ball game is VCU and St. Joseph's. VCU is ranked for the first time this year. Dave Ryan, Pete Gillen will have the call. Sean Johnson with a three-pointer.
That's great having VCU in the league. VCU and Butler.
How about Butler, what they did last night against Richmond?
Oh. And then you can tell they're an offensive player, but they play without Rodney Clark, and they still were able to really play clamp down defense.
Johnson's wide open on the opposite end. Some three-pointers, 8 threes for UMass, 4 for Duquesne. It's a 10-point game. Minutemen on top. There's Williams, little hesitation, blocked away by Marhol. It was still fun to watch before he got it blocked away.
He is so quick.
Coulter. Here's Johnson left alone for another three attempt. It's good. And Sean Johnson is smoking hot right now.
That was an extra pass by Ponteflet that was beautiful, getting Johnson open. You move the ball quick against the team in transition, get an open jumper.
You got a battle tonight between a guy from Bishop Ford High School and a guy from Christ the King High School in New York City. It's Sean Johnson, who has come out sizzling in the second half. 18 points overall, 49-42. You can't leave this guy open because he'll make you pay.
Better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big treehouse or a small treehouse?
If it's big enough, you can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller treehouse?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
Come on, kid. I'm Drew Brees.
And I'm Harry.
Who?
From One Direction.
Dudes, won the Super Bowl.
Platinum album.
MVP.
On the cover. Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Hey, man. Give me the Pepsi, and I'll get you a tryout.
Cool.
Hit me, Drew.
Dad, math problem.
Hit me.
Golden Corral charges one low price for their new sirloin filet. Plus, you could get seconds or more. Plus, all the shrimp you want. So, how much does that juicy sirloin actually cost?
Honey, we're going to Golden Corral.
Yup, we just raised the bar on steak. It's new USDA sirloin fillets cooked just the way you like. Plus jumbo and new calabash shrimp on our endless buffet, still for one low price.
Math is my best subject.
Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are not professionals, but the cheerleaders are nice enough to give some of the fans here a little look at what they have to do on a nightly basis. How about this Duquesne squad? They've cut this lead down 49-42. It's a roster that is